G'day, g'day, and it's time to go live with Treasures of Darkness reading. So I'll pick up, I'm very excited about this one because this is the 10th letter on the 17th of March. And okay, there we are there. Just going to share this to my personal page so that it goes to that extra spot. All right, so that's done and we can now start. By all means, say g'day in the comments so I can say hello and see who you are. Be nice. All right. Dear family and friends, guys, you can see that. I moved to Albion on the 11th of March. I have been here for a week and finally settled in. Okay, so then I go into filling in. You can sort of, I don't know if you can really tell, but it goes to italics, which is where I wrote this afterwards to let you know what happened. 4 of us travelled out in a prison van. This time we were not handcuffed because we had been classified as non-violent, low risk. The building was a very plain, split-level old boarding house with minor Tudor touches on the outside. We were processed and photographed for a new ID at the ground floor office, given a key to our room and warned to keep it locked. Moving inside, the downstairs area was dark and in need of fresh paint. It was dreary. My heart sank. It was the kind of place Justin and I used to inspect and give each other a look and know exactly how we would renovate it. I don't know what I expected, perhaps something brighter and suggesting hope. Ugly wooden stairs led up to rooms that were at least rooms and not cells. The beds were basic frames, the kind you see in second-hand shops, with equally plain table and a chair. There was no window in the door this time, so at least there would be some privacy, which actually turned out not really to be true, because in the middle of the night they would still open the door and look in at you to make sure you were still there. It wouldn't matter if it was a male or a female officer. That was actually more freaky than having someone just look through a window. I'm surprised there weren't people waking up screaming from trauma for having that happen. I know I wanted to. All right. But at this stage, I was still pretty hopeful. We arrived when lunch was laid out on a table. Simple enough, but to us, it looked like a banquet. Cheese! In prison, we had only been given 2 slices a couple of times a week. Now we could help ourselves. So I just thought this was the bee's knees. The women were dressed in civilian clothes and were friendly enough. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, yes, Dash. After lunch, I moved cautiously through the house to the rear yard. No wire fences. I lay along a picnic table bench seat and stared at the sky. Lush foliage hung over me from a tree in the garden. I didn't want to move. I remember that. It was one of those wooden picnic tables that you see in parks with the wooden table and the wooden bench. And I just laid back on the bench and looked up, and I was able to see trees, leaves, branches, and it was just another world. It was just wonderful. Okay. Yeah. Lush foliage hung over me from a tree in the garden. I didn't want to move. For some reason, I felt disturbed. Some of this is me thinking that I remember, and now I'm reading it, it's a little different. I was disturbed. I wanted to be happy, but it felt weird to have so little security, yet be just as much a prisoner. Fortunately, in the afternoon, Amanda returned from working at the cemetery, and I felt much better for seeing her again. She seemed brighter here. I'll leave it there for the reading because the rest of it is another section that'll be for tomorrow. But some time ago, I posted on my website. Oh, maybe I'll show you a couple of pickies and to show you what it looks like. Hey, hi, Linda. Good to see you here. So see your little hi, Trish. Yeah, that's good. Good to see you. So, Linda, you've seen these pictures. I think I showed you. So there was the train station where we would go to work, and I'll probably show these again and perhaps read because I've got a Facebook post that went with this. I took this just a couple of weeks ago. Well, you might be watching this down the track, but this photo was taken in 2010, and I took the photo 2020, and because I went to a function that was in Albion, but I had to get off at the station that we used to use when we were in Helena Jones Correctional Centre. I did look for a website about it, but there's no, Corrections doesn't have a website showcasing Helena Jones. It's just got some information about it. So that's the front fence. And this is a little video that I've turned the sound off, but that's Sandgate Road. That's normally quite busy. And I walked back through. You're not supposed to hang around outside the place, but this is what it looks like. So there's the Tudor look, and that's the children's playground and the car park here, and you go through the gate there. And these are the rooms that the ladies were in. So yeah, it's all fairly, there we go, it's just repeating again. So that was that. And I didn't have any PTSD. That's what I was sort of testing out as to whether I'd be freaked out a little bit, but I wasn't. So I can, another time, I'll read, what is it, 7 minutes. I suppose I can read you the post. Let's see. This is what I wrote. No P, hang on, I'll make it a bit easier for you to see. I'll give you something better to look at than all the details on there. No PTSD, nothing. Just awareness of a stretch in minimum security, part of a strange group of unlikely young women in high-vis shirts commuting from this very station to Nudgee Cemetery as a prison work gang minus the chains. Actually, I think what I'll do is open up a picture for you to see, so you've got something to look at instead of just me. Where is my, there we are. There you go. And here it is. I remember passing through Albion Station since then on the way to the city and hyperventilating, heart racing, while a mix of anger and terror gripped me. I tune into my body to detect signs of anxiety. Nothing. The building in the background was under construction then. That's this one here. As we passed it, a purple ad for Cadbury's chocolate blocks taunted us. It was at the time they made the large blocks smaller and claimed it was for our health. I remember thinking what a blatant lie that was. Deliver less product for the same price and tell the customer it's for their own good. There you go. Are you seeing that? Yeah, you are. Good. It's not criminal though, unlike us. Hudson Street looks the same, as does Sandgate Road. The memory sits on the same shelf in my mind as the memory of working out of Gore Street in the same suburb 15 minutes earlier. Testing my resolve, I rounded the corner away from my meeting's destination and approached the long green fence, a nondescript disguise belying the misery behind it. The absolute worst stage of my incarceration was 3 months here. And yet, in my book, I was excited to be there because I thought this is going to be so much better. Truth be told, I was relieved to get tipped back to maximum after one of my letters to you all was intercepted and the contents disapproved of. So yeah, I went to this place and I got kicked out after a few months. Yep. So I walked past the fence. I walked past the fence, look into the parking area, still feeling nothing. Some mild interest at recognizing windows I'd looked out of. I shoot a few seconds of video to prove to myself I'm really there. I'm unbound. I'm calm and in control. It has no power over me. In fact, I feel kind of excited. I feel kind of powerful. I'm really quite okay. I head off to my meeting. Another victory won. So yeah, pretty proud of myself with that one. So anyway, that was that. And feel free to, you can scroll back through my profile and see that for yourself if you want to have another look. But I'll show you more as we go. All right then, well, good night everybody, and I will see you I'll do Wednesday. I'll try and do 3 times a week. So feel free to like, comment, and share if you'd like to. All right, bless you heaps. Bye.